A few days ago, I posted that Gate Guardian video where we went over custom cards that you guys submitted to try and fix Gate Guardian, and that video was really fun to make. I hope we make more of them, but that got me thinking about a lot of old school cards and what they would really need to be viable in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, realistically, one piece of support would not be enough for most old school cards to be good. It would need like an entire archetype like they did with Thunder Dragon, for example, but that was a pretty fun video to make, and I wanted to talk about some other cards that I might feature in upcoming installments of that series. So this video is going to talk about old school cards that I feel deserve support. Now, support could be an entire archetype, it could be one card that helps it out, it could even be a retrain of that card that could work as well. By the way, this is not a way of me asking for you guys to send me custom cards based on the cards I'm going to talk about in today's discussion. If I do a video where we try to fix these cards with custom card support, don't worry, I will mention it on the channel. This is more so just talking about cards that I feel deserve more support. Now, I recently did a poll on my channel asking you guys which old school cards you would like us to review custom cards for, and Flame Swordsman took almost half the votes. That's like almost 8,000 people voting for it, which is really incredible. That did surprise me quite a bit, by the way. I thought it would be a lot closer, but apparently people really like Flame Swordsman and want to see it get more support. Now, it's worth mentioning here, Flame Swordsman has gotten support, or it has gotten retrains over the years. We do have Blue Flame Swordsman, for example, that was released a while ago, and sort of recently in Duelist Overload, we got Ferocious Flame Swordsman, a Link 2 retrain of Flame Swordsman. So this card has seen sort of support over the years in the way of retrains, but I think it deserves even more support. You know, this card was used by Joey in the anime, of course, and I think for that reason it does deserve like a new set of cards. Maybe it's an entire archetype of different Flame Swordsmen. I mean, we already have Blue Flame Swordsman, so what about a green or a purple or something along those lines? That could be kind of interesting. I think Flame Swordsman is an easy card to make support for because it is a warrior monster, and warriors have lots of good cards, so it maybe would just need a couple to be pretty good. How would you find a way to make the fusion monster playable in that deck? That part I'm not entirely sure about, but I'm sure there could be a way to figure that out. This is very likely going to be the next card that I ask you guys to make custom cards for, by the way, so maybe be thinking of that in the coming weeks. Next up, why not mention another warrior monster, Celtic Guardian. So obviously, we all know this card. It's an older normal monster, 1400 attack points and 1200 defense, and that part isn't super exciting, but it has had some retrains over the years. So we had Obnoxious Celtic Guard a while ago. That card is okay, I suppose, in casual play, or at least it used to be. But then we got Celtic Guard of Noble Arms in the movie pack back in 2016, and this really does lay the foundation for a Celtic Guard archetype. Let's take a look at what this card does. It is a level 4 Earth Warrior effect monster with 2100 attack and 700 defense. It says cannot attack while you have any cards in your hand. Once per turn, you can special summon one Celtic Guard monster from your hand. When this attacking card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can draw cards equal to the number of Celtic Guard monsters you control. Like I said, this card really does imply there are going to be more Celtic Guard cards, because at the moment, yeah, you don't get a lot of value from playing this card. Special summoning a Celtic Guardian or Obnoxious Celtic Guard from your hand could be good, I suppose. You could make a rank 4 or a Link monster or whatever, but I think that Celtic Guard of Noble Arms really could be foreshadowing more cards that have Celtic Guard in their name, and that would be pretty cool. Celtic Guardian is not the most iconic old school card, not even one of the most iconic old school normal monster cards, but it is a card that was obviously used by Yugi in the anime. I think a lot of people know about this card, so more support would be pretty cool. Over the past year, we've seen tons of Sacred Beast support and Egyptian God support, and that makes sense. You know, those are pretty popular cards, but where is the Wicked God support? I know there was an Egyptian God support card recently that also works with the Wicked Gods, but what about dedicated Wicked God support? That could be pretty cool. I think the Wicked Gods have some potential, and I think that people do like these cards, but they obviously need more cards to work, and it would have to be on the same level as the Sacred Beast support or the Egyptian God support to even really be worth trying out. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here, maybe people don't really care about the Wicked Gods, but in my opinion, considering how bad these cards have been throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history despite being Wicked Gods, I think they do deserve some more cards. A few weeks ago when I made that video on Summoned Skull and all of its retrains, I realized that while Summoned Skull has seen many retrains over the years, some of them even pretty recently, a lot of them were not very good. And you know what? I get it. Summoned Skull maybe not the biggest old school card, but I do feel it's iconic enough to deserve a playable set of cards. Now this could also be Archfiend support. We haven't seen good Archfiend support in a while. This could be a really cool idea, combining Summoned Skull and Archfiends once again to actually make a good archetype. Archfiends have a really good baseline. There are several pretty good cards in that deck already, so by giving them just another push, it could make a big difference. I think that Summoned Skull is iconic enough to deserve more support. I know a lot of people remember it from old school Yu-Gi-Oh as a level 6 powerhouse, but for it to be good in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh in 2021, or even for it to be good enough to be a casual deck in 2021, it would need a lot more support. The recent support that Summoned Skull got with that Fusion, Ritual, Synchro, and Xyz monster, that was pretty cool, but it wasn't enough to actually make it a good card, and it wasn't really enough to make a good deck with. So you would really need to give Summoned Skull and Archfiends way more than those types of cards if you really wanted them to be a good deck. Finally, do you remember that OCG reveal from a little while ago, that Guardian Sphinx retrain? Well, I think all of the other Sphinx cards could be retrained. I think that would be really cool. There are some rock ones, you have the movie ones as well. There's a lot that you could do with these cards. It's pretty difficult to balance the act of flip summoning monsters to get bonus effects in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, because that is a pretty slow, pretty inconsistent mechanic, but I think it is doable, and it would be pretty cool to see retrains of all of the other Sphinx monsters. Maybe the rock ones and the movie ones couldn't go together in the same deck. I know at the moment they're pretty far apart, but it would be awesome to see these old school cards retrained because a lot of them never got a chance to be viable at tournaments. One of my favorite parts about Yu-Gi-Oh is that legacy support could always be around the corner. You never know when an older card or older archetype is going to get more support, and that's a really exciting thing. You know, I recently did a poll on the channel and I asked people what got them more excited about core sets, either legacy support or new archetypes, and the response was overwhelmingly for legacy support. Now I do think that new archetypes are very important to the game's health, but I think that legacy support is sometimes underutilized because I think a lot of people really get excited for it. Anyway, that is all for today's video. Please let me know in the comment section below which cards in today's video got you the most excited. Maybe I'll make a custom card video about them, but please let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you later though. Goodbye.